Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel, Jon Sheppard Fitness. Today I'm going to be talking about bulking, but not bulking as you see it on Instagram, on Facebook, on basically all social media. I'm talking about the real life bulking. People who actually work and don't obsess with famous fitness people, who don't actually explain how to bulk and also shred when you... Hello and welcome to my channel, Jon Sheppard Fitness. I hope you're having a good week. Like I said before, what I'm going to be talking about today is bulking while working. A lot of people now are wanting to bulk because they want to put on muscle mass and weight for the next time they shred, and they'll probably be following a plan by some famous celebrity fitness person or some coach. The thing is, people off the social media and that do not really explain what it is like to bulk when you're actually doing a 9 to 5 or a 12-hour shift, because it is completely different from bulking when you're basically getting paid to be on social media, to work out. You've got plenty of time to eat, you've got plenty of time to work out, and the stress is not there. So today what I'm going to be talking about is how to bulk when you are actually working. If it's a 6-hour, 12-hour shift where you only have one break or two breaks, because when you're bulking, all you need to do is eat your calories. And if you're working in a 12-hour shift and you have one break or two breaks, when really the best way to bulk, they say, is to eat every 2 to 3 hours, how can you do that without having the time to do it? So what I'm going to do is explain a little way how I do it, because I actually work, basically I work about 8 hours to 10 hours a day, and I have 2 days off. So I only have one break in between that. So I have to work out what I eat before, after, and on my break. First of all, right, you got to decide what your calories are that you're taking while you're on a bulk. If it's 2,500, 3,000, so on, and so on, so on, and so on. Then you need to decide when is the best time you're mostly hungry. Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? And make sure that that meal is your big meal. That's where you're putting in loads and loads and loads of calories. Obviously it depends on what your workouts are, but I'll get around to the workouts after. Right, so what I do is I work in the late afternoon to evening. So I finish about 10 o'clock, start about 3, 4 o'clock. So sometimes I start earlier, and what I do is I make sure I get a big breakfast. What I do is first I will get my scrambled eggs. I'll make sure I get about 4 eggs. I will get some oats. I will get some fruit and eat that. Then I will do a big massive protein shake, which will consist of at least 800 to 1,000 calories. This will consist of stuff like oats and protein and fruit, milk, because obviously it's got a lot of calories in it. Milk is better than water if you're bulking. And basically I go on my MyFitnessPal and just calculate it until it gets to around 800, and if it's not, I just put some more stuff like a banana and I just blend it all up, and then I drink it, and that will go with my breakfast of obviously scrambled eggs, poached eggs or whatever, with toast, and maybe I'll have still, because I want to get a big breakfast in, so I roughly want to get over 1,000 calories in my first meal. Then after about 2 to 3 hours, I know I'm going to be going to the gym. So I make sure the meal I have before I go to the gym and work is a full carb meal. So I've got plenty of energy. obviously I get my protein, make sure I get about 40 grams of protein in, and just loads of rice, or have a big meal with potatoes, stuff which has got lots of calories, lots of carbs, and can bulk me out and fill me up. Also, when I'm working out, I'll have something like a protein bar, and also after that I'll have my shake with creatine in, and and that will really get me to another 800 calories. So you're looking about 1,800 calories in 2 meals. Then I'm working, so I need to make sure I have a meal for my break, which I tend to have something which is more pasta rice based with some chicken or some sort of meat in it, so I'm getting my protein in it. At this time and period, I've gone a bit too sweet and sour, because I like saucy stuff, and I only have a short break, so I like to get it down me. Obviously if you're eating a lot of dry food, it takes longer to eat, so make sure if you've only got short breaks, it's something quite quick, if you can eat it quite quick, if you know what I mean, or something that's got a lot of calories in, which won't take long to eat. Because if you've only got short breaks like 20 minutes or even half an hour, of course you've got to want to warm it up if you've got a microwave there, and so on and so on. So at this time I'm probably around the 2,200, 2,400 mark, depending on if I've had any snacks. And that's what I tend to do, is if I'm between meals, I'll have stuff like which are some sort of fruit, or even nuts, because nuts have got a lot of good healthy fat, and you can get a lot of calories from a few nuts, a handful of nuts, and you can get a lot of calories from that. So if you're finding it hard to eat anything, you know, and you want to go to the sweets and that, but don't, get some nuts, and just pistachio nuts are a great nice nut, I think, because they taste a bit sweetier. And then after I finish work, which is usually between 9 or 10 o'clock, what I'll do is sometimes I go to the gym again if I haven't been to the gym earlier in the day. So I will then go to the gym, or if I go home, I'll have another meal, and it will be similar sort of based meal, but then I will have a protein shake at the end, see what macros I've got, and if I've got only a few macros, that's when you can have a little cheaty, like, you know, your little Kit Kat or a Twix or something like that, because your fats will still be quite low. Your obviously carbs and that will be so low, or even something like popcorn, sweetie popcorn, something that's filling, and you should really hit the macros at the end of the day, if you got a sort of same work hours as me. But if you've got different work hours, and this is what I struggled with, 12-hour shifts are probably the hardest way to bulk up if you're working a 12-hour shift. And I say that because if you've never done a 12-hour shift, you really do not know what it is like to do a 12-hour shift, because usually you're working 12 hours and then you have your breaks in your work time, then you're knackered and you just want to go to sleep. And usually you go to sleep for about 10 hours and then you're waking up just to go back to work. And that's what I found out, what I was doing, and it absolutely wrecked my diet. I was actually losing weight, because obviously you were burning a lot of calories off at work if you're doing a mobile job where you're moving about, and you just cannot physically eat so much in your breaks, because your body will only taking so much, and obviously your time what you're on your breaks, you only can eat so much, so it's really hard to get in your calories. So I suggest you should more shake based stuff, and high carb, high proteined body mass shakes for this. I would get 200 grams of oats, get your protein in there, which is probably a mass gainer. So it's got more carbs in, peanut butter, and whatever else you like. You can basically throw anything into it. So you're getting at least over 1,000 straight away. You make these before you go to work, so you have these on your break with a little meal, and so you're just getting in them calories, because all you need is them calories. And then when you finish work, have something to eat which is slow carb base, slow releasing energy and slow releasing protein. I have casein, which is a slow releasing protein, so it's working while you're asleep. In the morning, have a big breakfast, and just see what your calories are counting out when you're doing something like that. If you are a big eater and you can eat fast and all that, by all means try and eat normal food. But obviously, if you're working 12-hour shifts and you're having probably 2 breaks, you're going to be finding it hard to eat 2 meals, warm them up, unless you have them cold, which makes them not even appetizing as much, and it's just hard. So try that way and see how it goes. At the end of the day, all that matters is getting that food in. It does not matter. There is no time scale. There is no law in where you got to eat every 2 hours. It's just easier to get it all in. That's the reason why people eat every 2 hours. If you're a big eater, then whack as much food as you possibly can when you've got time. If you're not a big eater, obviously separate it out, and then when you go on your breaks, eat then. But I suggest you have a big meal before you go on your work and after you've had your work. Anyway, if you've got any questions, or if you have got any tips on how you bulk or have bulked in the past working, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed and you're watching this and thinking, you know what, he's alright, he is, well, subscribe, you know. And if you're a fitness YouTuber, just tell me and I'll have a look at yours, and if I'm interested in your content, I'll subscribe to you as well, because in the end of the day, we're all here to help. Anyway, have a good weekend, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.